Hey guys, I'm TatyWorks, and in this Procreate tutorial I will show you how to draw amber with a dragonfly inside it, step by step. Please download free resources in the video description, and if you are ready, let's grab our pencils and get started. Today we'll work on a vertical canvas of 2000 by 2500 pixels, 300 dpi. This is the color palette I've created specially for this drawing. You can download it for free along with a brush and a dragonfly image in the description below the video. If you enjoy watching my free YouTube tutorials and want to see more, please check out my Patreon page, where I share in-depth tutorials and exclusive brush sets. It's also linked in the video description. In today's tutorial I will show you a few Procreate tricks. We will play around with noise, selection and a bit of photo manipulation. Hope you'll have fun! Now let me select the first color from the palette, medium hard airbrush from airbrushing section, and start drawing amber. Let's make something looking like an egg or a bean. For that I will set the size to maximum and first outline the shape. Let's make it a bit pointy on top and more rounded at the bottom. Something like this. The edge looks a bit too soft, but then we will fix it. Let's paint inside the shape. And after that we can lower the brush size to around 45%. And work on the edge. I still want to keep it soft but not too much. So I won't press too much on the pencil while outlining it. Also, the shape doesn't have to be perfect. Let me make it a bit faster. But you can pause and adjust it on your own, until you like the shape. Here I didn't use any calligraphy brush or inking on purpose, in order not to make the edge sharp. It's better this way. Just a couple of more adjustments. And I think now I like it. There is also a way to use warp or liquify tool to fix the shape if you don't like it too much. Alright, now it's time to go and change the color into yellow-orange. That comes next. And in the brushes, I will go to painting set from Procreate. To select gouache brush. Let's set the size to around 20% and start painting at the lower half of the shape with low pressure. I will also keep some distance from the edge. Paint it this way and then start tapping carefully, going up with very low pressure. Maybe we can make the size a bit bigger, at around 25%, but still paint with low pressure to avoid sharp edges. Let me tap a few more times here at the bottom. Go up a little. Also on this edge. And actually we can try to smudge the color by using this finger that is set to the same brush. I will just make a couple of strokes here on top. but keep some texture at the bottom. Okay, now let's grab the next color, which is vibrant yellow, and paint more at the lower side. Very carefully. We can also try to tap here. Maybe go a little upper on one side. And go to the right. To highlight the edge even more. But do it gradually. Let me go up a little here. Like this. I will also smudge it on this side. But I will make sure I'm not going outside the shape. So the texture stays inside only. Okay. Now let's select the last yellow color, which is this light vibrant yellow. Make the size even lower to add a more determined highlight. Here on the side, I will draw two shapes. A bigger one, like this. I'm also doing it by tapping. And then another one that is smaller. It goes a little upper. I will also tap a few times and then make strokes to blend it with the previous colors. I think we can make this one a little bit bigger. If you are using this brush for the first time, you may have some difficulties, but you will get used to it. Let's tap a few more times. This way. And after that, I would like to add a reflected light on the left side. Let's assume the light is coming from here. So the right side will be in shadow, and here we can see the reflected light. First I will select light grayish orange color and try to use the same brush. The size is set to around 12%, and I will start making strokes up and down to build this reflection gradually and blend the colors with the shape. Let's go down here. I will make it a bit wider on top. Try to make circular strokes. And here I will get it more narrow. Let's try to smudge the edges a little. This way. Then I will grab white color and make a couple of more strokes. Let's make this one bigger and the other one smaller. Also go down. I am doing it by lifting the pencil up. Looks more like tapping. Now we can try to change the brush, for example to hard brush from airbrushing, and add even more light. I will also tap and make strokes to smudge it. Same here. It already got some depth, but later we will add more textures, so it'll look more real. Alright, let's now do this. Go to the layer and duplicate it. Now let's go to Adjustments and select Noise. First of all, I will switch to Billows. and slide all the way to the right to set noise value to max. Now let's remove turbulence and set octaves to max. All we need to do is adjust scale, so let's slide to the right. I will set it to 80%, but you can try your own values. Let's deselect now and change the layers mode to soft light. Then lower the opacity of this layer. I will set it to 38%. We can actually try to clip the layer to the base and try to rotate it to find the best position for the texture. Alright, I will keep it like this. Let's deselect now and start adding even more details before we insert the dragonfly image. We already have white color selected, so let's just create a new layer above this one and then also clip it. In the brushes I will go to Amber and select this freckles brush, which is actually from my portrait set. The set is available on my Patreon. First I will set the size to around 50% and make strokes inside the shape. Just a couple. Now let's set the layers mode to add. We can already see some glow here, but then I will reduce the opacity to remove white color and keep it only yellow. So I think around 50% will work. If you need, you can move the texture. After that I will create another layer, also above this one, and clip it as well. So this texture will also stay inside. This time I will change the color into black by double tapping here in the color disk. Let's use the same brush, but set the size to max. Make another stroke. Here I will press more to get bigger texture. Then I will set the layers mode to overlay. And we can adjust it by moving and rotating. Maybe we can lower the opacity here as well to make it more red than black. 65% will work, I think. Now let's add even more details. For example, some cracks. I will also do it on another layer that I will create above this one and then clip. First let's use black color, but go to inking and select this brush. Here I've set the size to 9% and I will just draw a few curves inside the shape, starting from the top edge and going a little inside. Changing the pressure, because this brush is pressure sensitive, so it will change the size too. Let's make this one a bit longer and draw a couple of cracks at the bottom of the shape. I will make one go from here, a little upper, and then another one on the left, going from the bottom a little up. Alright. Now let's play around with this texture to make it look realistic. First I will change the layers mode to soft light to remove black color. I will first use liquify tool in push mode and adjust the location to make it look more organic on the shape. Okay. Now let's go back to adjustments and apply Gaussian blur on the layer at a very small amount, like 2%. Then I will duplicate the layer and invert it to make it white. Now let's click on the arrow and move it just 1 millimeter to the side so we can see the color. We can actually try to duplicate both layers. Let me lower the opacity of this one to around 64%. Then I will also duplicate the layer with white color and lower the opacity, like this. Let's now select these two and go to liquify. I will just push it a little bit. To make the cracks more real. It may intersect a little here. This way. Let's also work on this one. I will just push it a little bit and match it here on the tip. Let's make the size smaller to be more accurate and adjust all the cracks like this. This one. We can try to move it in the opposite direction to make it look wider, for example. And then do the same at the bottom. This one looks nice. Alright, let me now adjust the opacity a bit more. I will make dark color darker and lighter a bit lighter for more contrast. Now these are ready. Let's add more shadows and highlights to add volume to the shape. Right now I will create another layer above all layers. And let's not forget to clip it. Let's grab black color from the disk and soft brush from airbrushing. I think we can set the layers mode to overlay right away, so we will see the result. I will increase the size a little bit, and since we agreed that the right part is in shadow, let's paint here at the bottom with low pressure. I will go up a little here, like this, to make this part darker. Now to add even more volume to it, let's do this. Go to the first layer and duplicate it. I will grab this one and drag it on top of all layers. I will also set it to overlay mode. Then go to Adjustments, pick Hue, Saturation, Brightness, and increase brightness to max to make the shape pure white. Now I will go to Selection, pick Automatic, and tap on the shape to get it selected. You may need to slide to the sides to adjust the selection threshold. It is selected fine. So now I will tap on Feather and set the amount to around 14%. Now let's swipe 3 fingers down and click Cut to remove it in the center. We will get the texture only on the edge. To make it more visible, we can try to duplicate the layer. Now we can see it around the edge. I will merge these two layers. Grab a razor. That is set to soft brush. And remove the texture from the bottom. To keep it dark. All we need to do is insert the insect inside the shape. So let's go to the first layer and then insert the image. For that I will go to Actions, click Add and insert a file. Let's now scale it to place it inside the amber. I will also rotate it a little bit clockwise, then switch to freeform transformation and stretch it a little up to fit it in the shape. Let me move it a little, maybe stretch it a bit more, and then make it smaller again. I will put it here. After that I will go to Adjustments, pick Hue Saturation Brightness option and desaturate the image. Before adjusting curves to add contrast, let's go ahead and change the Layers mode to Overlay, so we can see the result immediately. Now let's go back to Adjustments, select Curves and try to move the slider to the right, the one at the bottom. This way we will add more dark color. And make sure that it is in gamma. For more contrast, we can also slide this one to the left to add more white color. Like this. Now I will deselect it. Lower the opacity of the layer to around 68% or so. Grab a razor, which is set to soft brush, and erase the area around the dragonfly. Remove all the lines, but we can still keep the texture right under it. Let's remove it here. I will also erase the tips on the wings to make it look like it is inside the amber. Also here. And I think it looks pretty cool now. We can start working on the background. First of all, I will go and change its color. So let's tap here on the background color. And from the color palette, select grayish cyan blue. It will change right away. All we need is to create a shadow. And for that I will create a new layer right under the amber. Let's drag it here. Then I will select grayish purple. And to draw the shadow, we can try to use medium hard airbrush that is set to full size. I will start painting from here. Add the soft edge around it. Go down and make it wider at the bottom and on the right side. Paint like this. All according to the direction of the light that we picked in the beginning. Let's paint it more here. Make it rather soft. This way. And after that I will grab a razor. Erase the area right under the amber. Like this. go a little up on this side. Now I want to repaint this empty area into light yellow color. So we need to select it from the palette. I will only change the brush to soft brush to make it softer. Let me lower the size a little bit and paint it with low pressure. It'll add some glow to the shadow, like it is reflected from the amber. Let me finish it. And once we did that, the drawing is complete. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Tag me if you post your version on Instagram. For more tutorials and brush sets, please check out my Patreon page. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.